Okay, folks, we are back. Another episode of Street to Strategy. Real people, real talk, and real impact, man. A couple of things. First of all, we have my website that's up. It's called streettostrategy.com. Check it out. And then the next thing, my second book will be out June 15th. Pick it up at Barnes & Noble or Amazon. It's going to be called The Emotional Toll of the Show. I'm really excited. I have a new guest today. Let me give him an intro. Some men build careers. Others build character in the fire of service, sacrifice, and the moments most people never see. Today, we welcome a man whose life has been defined not by comfort, but by courage. A warrior has spent more than 3 decades standing on the front lines of chaos, responsibility, and justice. He is not simply a law enforcement officer. He is a former Force Recon United States Marine combat veteran, a tactical operator, an investigator, a leader, and a man who has lived a life where calm under pressure was never optional. It was survival. From the battlefields of Somalia and Iraq with the Force Recon Battalion and Force Reconnaissance Company to the streets and rural communities of California, he has dedicated his life to protecting others in environments where the stakes could not be higher. For nearly 3 decades with the Kings County Sheriff's Department, he rose through the ranks from detention deputy to senior deputy sheriff, eventually serving as the sergeant for Rural Crimes Task Force. He led undercover operations, organized tactical missions, supervised complex investigations involving violent crimes, narcotics, homicides, and cyber crimes, and trained the next generation of deputies to carry the badge with discipline and integrity. After retirement, he spent some time as a special agent with the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation's Office of Internal Affairs. He continued that mission, conducting criminal investigations, assisting with deadly force investigations, overseeing tactical operations, and serving as a trusted expert in some of the most critical situations imaginable. But beyond the titles, certifications, and operation plans is something even more powerful. A lifetime commitment to service. A man who understands leadership, not as authority, but as a responsibility. A man who has spent his life walking toward danger so others could walk away from it. This is more than a conversation about law enforcement or military service. This is a conversation about resilience, sacrifice, brotherhood, and what it truly means to dedicate your life to something greater than yourself. His journey has brought him to my table. This is Rod Shulman. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jay.
Man, dude.
Crazy intro, man.
You got an awesome story, Rod. Let's get to it.
Nice.
When you look back on your life, from a Force Recon Marine to detective to special agent, what thread connects every chapter of your story?
There's probably several, Jay, honestly, but it's more, I guess it'd be more just the service, especially when you come from where I came from, my background as far as in the military. There's kind of, you're not limited. I don't want to say limited to what you can do when you get out of the military, but because of the skills that you do have, a lot of that's used in obviously contract work overseas, which has kind of been dried up until now with the new Iraq thing going on.
Yeah.
And then obviously working for the agency, when I mean the agency, like CIA, those type of environments, or you get out and if you're working like I did, because having my first daughter, then law enforcement's kind of the easy choice.
Yeah.
A good choice. I mean,
yeah,
it's a good career, man.
I was going to say, you can make a decent living.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously not as good as you city boys, you know what I mean? Because I'm going to give you shit about that. But
yeah.
Not as good as you city boys. County definitely doesn't make as much money. But yeah, definitely a good living, great retirement.
Yeah.
I mean, other than not getting medical, but PERS, you can't beat PERS, man.
100%. And I will tell you this, you had a reputation in Kings County as a kick-ass deputy. Like, anybody I've ever talked to about you, everybody's like, dude, he's a solid dude. And, that's saying something because this. In law enforcement, what do? We're very critical of others.
Sure.
And if a guy's a stud cop, we'll say he's a stud. And if he's a dud, we're going to say he's a dud.
Yeah.
And I never heard anybody ever say anything about you other than that Rod was squared away, man. And
I appreciate that. I've got the chance to work with some good guys, obviously some leaders that taught me, guys that I look up to as I don't necessarily want to say heroes, but definitely role models.
Oh yeah,
on how to do the business. Because when you come out, Jay, you and I can both attest to this. And any cop that sits here, we think we know what we're doing until you hit the street day one. That FTO, man, you don't know shit.
You don't.
And then you figure it out. You're like, oh boy, man, I don't know about this, but not because of being scared. It's just like, man, you don't know how to talk to anybody. You don't know how to react to certain things. You know what I mean? But then where I came from, I'm always hyper vigilant. So everything to me is already, this guy's dirty. This guy's guilty.
Yeah.
Oh man, this guy, something's going on. Not necessarily the case.
Yeah. And, it's so true. I mean, those first couple years when you're cutting your teeth in law enforcement, we can look back and laugh about how little we knew. Do you remember a moment as a young man when you realized your path would lead towards service, danger, and responsibility? Because I think guys like us, we've always been leaders. Even when we were young, bro.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think there's different philosophies. Obviously, you read different books from different guys or subscribe to different theories when it comes to leadership. I have my own theories, my own thoughts on that. And one guy, I'll say his name, Eric Loya, was a staff sergeant, my platoon commander. My platoon sergeant at the time in Force. Said, hey, you remind me of me, man. You're causing problems, but you're, you kick ass. You do things, but you'll you step in the gray. You know what I mean? A little bit sometimes. And he said, look, man. He goes, in order to be a good leader, you got to be a good follower.
Yeah, I'm right.
And I wholeheartedly believe that because I believe that I followed a lot of good guys in the Marine Corps and in the out in the realm of law enforcement. Not only that, my dad as well.
Okay. You know what, man? I've said this before, and I don't know if you think it, but there were a lot of leaders that I did not respect. Sure. But I respected the work, and that was enough. And you know what I mean? Because I just think this, man. I think law enforcement right now is in a real conundrum with toxic leadership.
I agree.
And I think that the new guys are never going to get to do the things that me and you did. Law enforcement's changed, though. The whole paradigm has shifted because now with body cams and just everyone's scared to do anything, and man, the crooks, man, they rely on that. And what did discipline mean to you as a teenager, and how did the Marines completely redefine that word?
Wow, that's complicated. You asked my parents. I didn't have any discipline, man, when I was in high school. But
what'd your old man do? I forgot to ask.
He was. My dad was. He was a battalion chief with CDF, and then he actually worked at headquarters in Sacramento for a while, where he was way up there, and then he self-demoted because he didn't like it up there and came back down here.
Okay.
So he retired as a FEM, which is a fire equipment manager, but he used to draw CAD designs of all the fires for Tulare County in the state.
Okay.
He did all that. So he retired. He's got PERS too. So he's
awesome, man.
And he worked for the state, so he got free medical too. So he's living it up, man. At least I went that route, you know what I mean, as far as getting PERS and stuff, because I listened to him. He said you can't beat it. So, and he's right. Because now that I'm retired, it's good.
You know what's interesting? Even for me, I realize now, even though I lived in these bad neighborhoods, I had discipline. Because I stayed out of trouble. I wasn't into drugs. I mean, I like to drink beer, but you know what, and chase girls. But guess what? I didn't get caught up in a lot of the bullshit that a lot of people did. And I think that's my discipline. And then it translated to my military time. And then it translated to my law enforcement time. And I can almost bet it did the same for you,
Yeah. So, I mean, if I guess to really answer that question, Jay, is that because I kind of got off as far as, you have discipline through my parents, obviously. That goes to a whole nother level when you go into the military. Obviously, that. And then that level gets turned into a whole nother level when you're, quote, like into special ops type of unit. Because you have to be able to have self-discipline in order to accomplish missions, to do things that you're ordered to do, even though you're like, I don't know, man, this doesn't seem, I don't know, but you got to hold it because it's what you've been told to do, whether it's right or it's wrong at the time. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not.
You know what? I was around some of those SEALs when I was in North Island, and I don't know if you think this, man, but I think a lot of the guys in special ops, they're all not. A lot of them are not right in the head. There's just something off. I think, and really to do that type of work and to do it well and to hang it out there like that, I think you got to have that mentality, because guess what? You're not a conventional force. You're a force multiplier. And you know what? That means you're out there, you're doing whatever it takes to get it done and whatever it takes to get home. And I think, we treat our special ops, I think we rely on them too much, but I just think that a lot of those guys that I saw, man, they were a mess, man. Just a mess.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because the majority, if you read and look at any kind of stats, at least what I've seen, and going through therapy for years of my life, which is something maybe, I don't know if we're going to talk about that or not.
Yeah, we can.
Regardless, but college dropouts and come from broken homes. If you look at the majority of those quote type A special ops kind of guys, I'm honestly, if you ask them, most of them, that's where they come from. Well, their background is that, because they're used to operating on their own, really, in a sense. I came from that.
Yeah. Think about me, man. Hey, mom on welfare, dad split, So, I knew this. I knew somehow, some way, somewhere I was going to get to law enforcement. Obviously, I had to take the long way around, but you know what I mean? Yeah. Out of all the roads you could have taken in life, what drew you specifically towards reconnaissance and force recon? Because that is the elite.
Yeah. So I honestly, when I went in the Corps, I didn't really know, except for seeing some videos and some different things. And I remember telling the recruiter in Visalia, which is completely different now than how it is. But
were you 0311? Were you a ground pounder?
I went in as a 0311 or 0311.
Yeah.
Which is an infantry in the Marine Corps. So when I went in and they had an opportunity to indoc, which, take an indoc for Recon Battalion, I jumped on it, man, because I'm like, dude, these guys do some cool stuff. And it's not just a grunt battalion. I'm not putting down the grunts at all by any means, because they saved our asses many times.
Oh, yeah.
In Iraq and Somalia and such. But it's the draw what that is, because traditional reconnaissance is small unit tactics, man. That's what it is. It's a 6-man team that's super tight, and I was drawn to that. So that's why I went that route. Wasn't easy. I had indoc from there in the Recon Battalion. I had to go through. We did an ARS, which is an amphibious reconnaissance course. There's several different names for it, basic reconnaissance, whatever you want to call it.
But there ain't no basic about it, man.
If you were talking about North Island, so our schoolhouse, ARS schoolhouse, is right across the street from Bud's. And a lot of people don't know that. It's like Coronado. Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah. Well, I used to see the recon guys with that. It was that pin, that silver pin, and it's like the diver.
It's a dive bubble. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a face mask, basically.
Yeah. And when you would see those, we just went like this. Okay, that's a bad motherfucker, man. You know what I mean? And, it was a big deal, man, because, just like anytime you see that, or, you see a guy wearing a Budweiser, it's the same stuff, dude. When a guy's got a trident on, you just realize we're breathing different air here, boys.
Again, I never looked at it as like, well, hey, I'm better than this guy, I'm better than that guy at all. But did I have better training? Yes. Was I in a better circumstance, better equipment? 100%. Better missions, obviously. Better, trainings, obviously. And maybe some better guys at times.
Because you got to be a stud. You got to be in top physical condition, because 100%. Guess what? They're not going to take anybody that's going to hold anybody back.
No, the standards are very high, and they do not bend at all.
Well, I would tell you this. I remember one time we were at a Hotel Del Coronado, Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And for the folks at home, this is a world famous hotel. And like, I remember back, dude, this is like 92. And dude, we're paying like, $8 for a Heineken at this bar, which, for some grunts right out of boot camp, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But we were standing on the back patio and they had like, heaters going, and we're watching the Buds class. And they're doing rock portage right there, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I remember some guys were like, man, I can't believe they're giving up, man, just for that water. And I'm like, have you ever been in the Pacific, bro? I'm like, it's 60 degrees out here, and we got heaters on and jackets. These guys are in the water. I go, go right out there and jump in that water.
UDTs and a cami top, man. Yeah. Been there, done that.
Yeah. For people who have never experienced it, what is the mindset required to survive and operate inside Force Recon?
Wow, I guess it kind of depends on what you're doing, and then it kind of doesn't, because I think it kind of all comes full circle, Jay. Because like when you're stateside and you're doing trainings and you're doing workups, and what I mean by workups is getting ready to go overseas or getting ready to do deployments via ship, MUs, Marine Expeditionary Units, which I think you're pretty familiar with.
Oh yeah,
it's. Man, a lot of it is self-discipline, and I say that because you still got to be in shape, physically in shape. So you're working out all the time. You got to be mentally sharp. So you're always studying. You're doing what these MCIs, these basically these study guides, that they have in the Marine Corps to learn different things. And you're taking tests. And you got to submit these in order to get promoted. And so you're keeping your mind sharp. You're keeping your mind sharp by always studying. I mean, I remember studying 9-line briefs all the time, which are basically calling in close air support for fast movers, jets or A-10s.
Did you guys do was it like the year and a half workup and then 6 months overseas? Is that
18-month workup?
Yeah. Because I used to see that, talking to the SEAL dudes, that's what they were doing, and it was kind of that similar stuff. But Somalia was chaos, uncertainty, and violence at the level most people cannot imagine. What did that experience teach you about humanity? Because I think we can see it in the movies, but I think being there is probably a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I remember coming back from the Gulf War, and saying, "Wow, okay, it went pretty fast." Saw a lot of gnarly stuff. Saw some things I didn't want to do. Did some things I didn't want to have to do. And then we get to Somalia, man. I'm telling you what, man. That's Africa. In that region is a whole nother level, man. I mean, it's. I don't want to disrespect anybody, but man, it was. I mean, people were dying there from starvation,
famine.
I mean, absolutely. But it's
third world times 10 because what
that's what I was just getting ready to say. People don't really realize how good we have it here, and when we think it's bad, like especially guys like me and you, Jay, who live pretty well. Yeah, we've done our time, but we live pretty decent.
We do.
I mean, something happens, we're like, and then you let go. Wait a minute, let me go back to here to 1992, 93, and go. Wait a minute, nah, man, this is nothing compared to what it was like back there. Those people are savages.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Were you there during that whole Black Hawk Down time?
So I was there. Our unit was there before, actually before Black Hawk Down happened. Yeah. Our unit was there afterwards, and then what the team that I was involved in was doing, we were there floating around and in and out, was going to pull out all the unscom people after Clinton had said it was all over.
That's right, when they said...
so we were going in there to pull out all basically the American UN and all the other people.
Because, Black Hawk Down, that was 93.
Yes, October 93, I believe.
How does combat change the way a man sees fear?
That's a good question, man. I mean, maybe let me explain it to you like this, if I can, if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll put it to you this way: with people, I've had people ask me that, and to me, it's. I don't want to say it's disrespectful because a lot of them don't really know. No. But then for people who've been involved in that, or people who are cops, to me that's disrespectful. And I'm not saying you're being that at all, Jab. What I'm saying is I've been involved in some things overseas. I've been involved in a lot of stuff on the street also. And I can tell you this, that one of the shootings that we were involved in when I worked at the sheriff's office, I wasn't personally a shooter in this incident, but I was there working my dog, looking for a homicide suspect, tracked him all night through this orchard, you know what I mean? He ends up coming out in the morning, and a couple of our deputies end up shooting as I'm bringing my dog out. One of the sergeants that worked there at the time was freaking out. I mean, he would just, I never had anything happen. Your bullets are hitting by his feet. And I'm like, yeah, dude, whatever. Right. Yeah. I mean, just no big deal. He starts losing his mind on me. You know what I mean? Like, you need to get out. I'm like, dude, just, relax. It's fine. And then basically, long story short, several people used to come up to me on a lot of critical incidents, whether it's pursuits and shootings, fights, whatever, and go, Matthew, why are you so calm? How come you can be so calm? I'm like, dude, because what I'm seeing here is playground shit compared to what I did back then. Yeah. And I don't mean to disrespect it or anybody like that, but it's reality. It's true.
Well, you saw it on a mass scale too, man. I mean, and that's just it.
Well, man. That too, Jay, and then the rules of engagement are totally different over there than they are here. I mean, you and I both know that.
Yeah.
And especially now, that's why I'm glad I'm retired now. That's because now it's even worse than what it was when you and I were.
Oh, big time. Well, I mean, even the rules of engagement, even when we were in, I used to say this, and I got yelled at for saying this one time, but I said, these rules of engagement are not here to protect Americans.
No.
It's horrible. And I said that, and I remember, dude, my chief got my ass, man. He's like, don't be saying shit like that. And I said, it's the truth. And I said, hey, man, let's protect Americans. We're the world's cops, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and I just think, well, like even in law enforcement, this, man, and even in war, you mess up bad enough, dude, you can end up in Leavenworth. You mess up bad enough out here on these streets right now, you're going to get prosecuted, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was there ever a moment overseas where you truly understood how fragile life is?
Yeah, many times.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I've lost friends overseas in training accidents, helicopter crashes, having to dive for their bodies.
Horrible.
And out, in the Pacific Ocean, wherever we were at the time, and I don't remember where that was. I believe that was actually off the coast of Africa when that happened. Yeah, man, I've seen a lot of things that get me, that are upsetting. And then having to, I think the biggest one for me was having to go to talk to my buddy Doc Leland's wife when he passed away. That was pretty tough, man.
Oh, for sure.
Gets me emotional, like right now, even thinking about it.
Yeah.
Because him and I were like brothers. Like we looked a lot like, had the flat top Dolph Lundgren back in the day,
Oh yeah, the high and
all
tight.
In shape, yeah, all that high and tight, bronzed out. All we did was work out. Stupid, thought we were all that, but
yeah.
Yeah, having to tell his wife that he had passed away was pretty tough, man. So
you know what I've often said too, man. There's something about helos. This. It ain't if the helo's going down.
Yeah,
it's just when.
And how bad? Yeah,
and, and man, and helos just chew the shit out of people, man. And they're horrible. In high risk environments, what separates panic from professionalism?
That's a good question too. I panic from professionalism. I think a lot of it has to do with what your experiences are. And I would say probably 90% of that is, to me, it is because you and I can attest to this. You see somebody new in a critical situation, they usually freeze or they run. And guys like me, and I used to get questioned that too, like, Matthew, why are you advancing on these people? Why are you doing this? Why are you just so calm and just moving forward when everybody's kind of like, oh no, And again, I test that to the training and experience that I've had from obviously coming from Force and then working the street for so long.
I get it.
So I think a lot of that's experience. I really do. I remember maturity level to some extent. But to me, it's a lot of experience and what you've been through in your life.
I agree. I remember one time one of the guys told me, man, Jay, you have no fear out here. And I said, I don't. And I said, I think of it in a different way. I just think aggression normally can get you over that hump when we're dealing with true dangerous suspects.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, and I think when we start to backpedal, I think that's when we get hurt, and that's when we get killed.
I agree.
And I would go forward, and especially when I was working gang task force. I mean, dude, we were the shiny tip of the spear.
Yeah.
And I used to tell guys, "Hey, man, don't do what I do. Do it your way, but don't do it my way, because my way works for me. It may not work for you."
True.
But man, I think that in law enforcement, especially when we're dealing with suspects with guns, especially high profile, let's say, long guns, 223, 308. Hey, man, there's no time to mess around, because that'll go right through our vest. And you know what I mean? And so we used to go hard. And I think that's where law enforcement has lost a step, because I think now, think about even a tactical team, dude. There's no hard hits anymore. Now it's surround and call out, man.
Surround and call out.
Yeah.
And I didn't come from that
Yeah,
school.
it's horrible. You spent years conducting surveillance and reconnaissance. What have those experiences taught you about patience and awareness? Because I could tell you what, Rod, my Achilles heel, I have zero patience.
I don't either, and I don't either. Trust me. Yeah, that's a good question. So you're saying what is doing those type of operations?
Yeah. I always say this because I ask guys like us, because we're all the same. I was not built to watch a house for 12 hours. That is not in me, Rod.
Me neither.
It's just not. And so I always ask guys, what does it touch you about patience and awareness? Because I think it's hard for me, because I'm like this. Give me the 4 guys in the car with the AK-47. Do not give me the house to sit on the house for 12 hours.
I'm the same way. Yeah, I'll go drive 150 miles an hour chasing a guy, you know what I mean, with my hair on fire. And yeah, 100%. I mean, but
sometimes it's got to be done.
But it is the same, and it's a little bit different when you're talking about, doing it with a force team. One, because you're a 6-man guy, and a lot of times where you're at, we're way beyond enemy lines. We don't have QRF sometimes, and if we do, they're like when I worked in Avenel, for example. You know what I mean? And headquarters is in Hanford. It's 45 minutes to an hour away. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you got to be able to go, okay, well, hey, pump the brakes. You know what I mean? Yeah, you see something and go, you know what, man? Maybe I just let this one go this time. As much as we hate doing it, it's like, all right. Chill out, take some time. You got nothing but time. Granted, we don't want to let them go, but sometimes you got to let them go to get to make it even bigger
also
next time.
Too,
so patience is huge. It's big.
I always say this, man, and I learned this trying to work for Amtrak, man. I'm trying to be a cop in 4 different counties with zero backup and relying on allied agencies.
Right.
And man, it just was not good.
I agree.
What does hypervigilance feel like after years of tactical work and combat operations?
I should probably have asked my wife that, because she's actually a clinical psychologist. So,
oh wow! Okay,
she could tell you a lot more than I could. But
well, guys like us, we don't like to sit with our backs to the door.
Right. Yeah.
We walk into place.
I know.
I don't know about you. If I'm in a restaurant and a guy walks in, this is what I do. I give him a quick glance, and in 2.2 seconds, I got to go like this: threat or no threat. Right?
No, I do this. My wife would say the same thing, and we'll be talking. I mean, in a full-blown conversation, just like you're just describing. I mean, real into whatever we're talking about, and then so I see something. It's like, and she knows automatically. It's like, and then she's like, "I'm over here. I'm over here." And I'm like, "Yeah, hold on." And then she's like, "She knows," but yeah. It's like that in big crowds, anywhere, concerts,
Yeah, we don't do good in those big crowds.
Disneyland, you know what I mean? Like just off the chain sweating, you know what I mean? And it's cold because I'm just 90. I mean, I think every cop has that to some degree. And if they don't, they're probably either lying or they weren't worth a shit in the first place.
Yeah, no, you know what? I know. My wife has told me many times, you ain't a cop no more.
Yeah, but you know what? That doesn't...
But there's something... It's branded on us, and it will be this way until the day we die, Rod.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, especially coming from, again, where I came from. You had to be. You have to be. And I go through therapy now, and they're always asking me, "Hey, how's hypervision?" How is it? I'm like, it's here, and it's not going to go away. I don't think ever.
When you came home from military service, was it difficult to transition back into civilian life?
Yeah, very, very, very hard for me.
Yeah.
And I say that because of the unit that I came from. Because when you're where I came from, which was the top, I mean, it didn't get any higher than that. Now it's the Raiders, you know what I mean? Basically, that's
the MARSOC guys.
The MARSOC guy, which is what we were until MARSOC stood up. And that's a whole nother story. But it's, yeah, man, you come from that, and then you go, okay, well, hey, I'm going to go work at the sheriff's office, you know, and then you're in the jail. And it's like, okay, no big deal, man, because the jail was good to me. And that's how I learned how to talk to people. I learned who was who in the zoo there. You know, I knew what gangs were what, who was rivaling who. You know, you learn all that stuff on the inside. So very good for me. Learn how the court systems work. You know what I mean? All those different things. But yeah, I mean, trying to go from being the baddest, you know, the best of the best, and then going, man, I'm down here now. Okay, that's no big deal. And then, you know, working yourself to become a range master and getting on the range staff, and then they're like watching what you're doing and how you're doing things. They're like, man, you're like a robot, man. Why do you do this? And why do you do that? And why are you always moving? And how come you're not standing still? And I'm like, because you're standing still, you're dying. You guys need to get with the times, man. This is ancient. What are you guys doing? And then it's like, oh, this guy thinks he's somebody, man. Who is this dude? I mean, I got into it with the assistant sheriff at Kings County when I was brand new. I got into it with Jack Amoroso when I was brand new over there. Just saying, hey, man, what about this? What about that? And they're, well, who are you? You're just some jail guy. I'm like, who am I, dude? I go, you know.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, you coming from special ops, and, you know, that translates to law enforcement so well. And I think if they would have had a different attitude, there's a lot you could have taught. Because you're right. In law enforcement, how often do people sit there and all we do is shoot at paper targets? I used to bring this up, man. We need to have reactive targets. We need to have a lot going on. Now they're finally using, drones and stuff like that. But, you know, it's like back, if we're just going to sit there and shoot at a paper target from 10 yards away,
that doesn't mean
what are we doing? Because guess what? You know this, in the real world, when I got my shooting, I was not sitting there stationary.
Nope.
We're moving, we're running, we're jumping fences, we're doing all this stuff.
Yep.
It's the real deal. Let's make it like the real deal. Here's one. How much of the Marine Corps still lives inside you today? You'll always be a devil dog.
Yeah, once a Marine, always a Marine. I mean, I a lot, man. I mean, I remember just recently, I mean, just to give you an example, I mean, I'm disciplined. I wake up, you know what I mean? I work out, you know, 4 to 5 days a week. It's those things are embedded in you, man, and ingrained in you for so long. And then when you've done what I've done with the guys I've done it with, man, it never goes away. But one example I can give you was I was at I think it was a stadium game, football game. And the Stars, you know, they're going to play the Star Spangled Banner. Well, obviously, a lot of people, you know, they take off their hats, they put their hands over their heart.
Yeah.
Well, I'm standing at the POA, which is position of attention.
Me too.
And somebody afterwards was like, hey, man, you know what I mean, dude? Why are you disrespecting the flag like that? You know, you're not even putting your hand over your heart. And then I had to give him the example, like, hey, I was in the Marine Corps for 12 years, and this is how I was taught.
We stand full of attention.
I stand up at the POA.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And until you understand that, you just don't get it. So
they don't. And I always say this. There's something about the military that we look at it different because we were trained a different way. And yeah, so like I'm like you, if I go to something and if I see somebody sitting down during dude, I get pissed off. If I see people talking, if I see people goofing around, I'm like, you know, I mean, I've had to kind of chill myself out where I don't, you know, accost people about it. But I'm like you. I stand at full blown attention.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
Law enforcement and military service both demand sacrifice. What do those careers cost you personally?
It cost me a marriage once.
Me too.
I mean, I think a lot of people would say that. A lot of cops. It cost me a lot of time with my children. I mean, and I look back on that because I knew this was going to be I just had a feeling this would be a question you'd ask.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a good one. Yeah, I mean, I remember coming out of the Corps, like you said. You know, you're at this tip of the spear, and then you go to where you work and you don't know anybody. I got to make a name for myself. I got to show these guys that I can hang and I can do this, I can do that. Well, that's what I did. And then you put your family and your kids kind of on the back burner.
They do. They take a back seat.
I mean, and then when you're young, you got to work shifts you don't want to work. And so you're missing Christmases, you're missing birthdays. Fortunately, later I got to make that up, obviously once gaining rank and doing different things and being in different assignments. But definitely my family and my kids more so than anything suffered, man, more than anything.
I always say this, man, we signed up for this shit.
They didn't.
They didn't.
No.
And, you spent nearly 3 decades at the Kings County Sheriff's Department. What kept you committed for so many years?
Wow, that's
because I know there was years, Rod, where you probably were like, "I'm quitting this shit."
There was. I mean, I actually applied for your agency one time.
Yeah, I think you'd have been great.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of reasons why I was told no, but we'll just keep that off the air.
Yeah.
But, I'll tell you what kept me there, man. It's quite a few things. One was just how small the agency was, and again, it wasn't small. I mean, I think they're up over 90 to 100 sworn now, which for a sheriff's office is kind of small.
Yeah,
but Kings County at the time when I came in 1995 had the reputation of being kick-ass, and we didn't. And
still do.
Kicked ass and took no names. Period. End of story. That's just the way it was. We weren't Hanford PD. We weren't Lemoore PD. You know what I mean? We were us, and when the green and tan showed up, man, it's on. And that's how it was. Didn't matter. And so the reputation of the agency, the people that I worked with, obviously, granted, even though I went through many different sheriffs. When I started with Sheriff Marvin, obviously a lot of people know him because of his son, who was a sergeant, here.
Yeah.
Ken was an awesome sheriff,
he was a kick-ass. Well,
he was a kick-ass officer, cop. My father-in-law, before he passed away, which from when I was married previous, him and Ken Marvin were B partners together at VPD.
Oh, love it.
So, there's that lineage as far as that goes. But yeah, man, we had good equipment. We had really good training. We had some good sheriffs. We had some bad sheriffs. I mean, when D-Rob, Dave Robinson, Sheriff Robinson came in, and he was there for quite a while until I left. In fact, he just retired recently. Him and I started in the jail together. He started 6 months prior to me being there, except for I'm a few years older than him. So
got it.
So yeah, man. I mean, it was good, and man, and crime was rampant over there, man. I mean, you learn how to be a cop when you. If you talk to guys from my genre or my era, you learn how to be a cop once you went to Avenel. When you got assigned over to the West Side, it was usually one guy worked by himself at night, and guess who that was? That was me. I worked 6 hours at night in Avenel by myself.
Also, man, Avenel, man,
for 4 nights a week.
It's just out in the middle of nowhere.
It's out in the middle of nowhere, man. It's gang infested, and it's on every single night.
Yeah.
Kettleman City the same way.
Oh yeah,
same thing.
Yeah. As a deputy and later a sergeant, what did you learn about the darkness people are capable of?
Ooh, yeah, man. There's I've seen a lot. I mean, and you have too. I mean, we could sit here and go back and forth with stories all day. I think the worst ones for me are obviously crimes against children, big obviously, time. And then the worst one I ever saw was a beating of an infant in the home gardens, which was homicide of a. I think I want to say he was 18 months old or younger than that actually, and I'm just like, man, how can you?
Oh yeah.
How could somebody do that, man? You know what I mean? With not even defending themselves, and especially a guy of this guy's stature. You know what I mean? It's like,
oh yeah.
So
no, we do. You know what? And it's like I always tell people, you can read this shit in the newspaper and you can see it on the news, but dude, when you're there watching this shit, seeing this shit, we're both hard dudes, man. But I've driven away from scenes, bro, and I know you have too, where you're just like, did I really just see that? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
for sure.
That's this. It's like, I think now with all the mental health shit and all the drug addiction shit, I think some of the stuff that these people do, man, it's like I used to tell people, man, it is low down, dirty dog shit.
Absolutely. These are the fucking scum of the earth. Excuse my language, but I mean,
100%, 100%, brother.
You got no use for you.
No, I agree. Was there a case or an investigation that stayed with you long after the report was closed?
Yeah, there's a few actually, and for different reasons. One was a homicide that I was involved in. That I wasn't the lead investigator on it, but I was actually helping assist with it. The other one was a case that I worked in rural crimes, and that was a very, very, very big case that involved Tulare County, Kern County, our county, Fresno County, that took us all the way down into LA, and I believe it was San Bernardino County, down by Edwards Air Force Base. Huge case. I mean,
drugs. Or
it turned out to be. So what it turned out initially was when I worked rural crimes, we did a lot of stuff regarding farms because Kings County is all farm based, agricultural based. So whether that was, whether it was fraud, whether it was theft, whether it was, whatever the case may be, cattle theft, whatever it was.
Tractors,
implements, whatever. It didn't matter. That's what this was. This case, this crew was raping us, Tulare County, more so than anybody, but Kern to an extent as well. We worked this case forever. With the help of at the time, which was now he's back in charge, is Randy Gunderman. When he was just a slick sleeve, in the ag unit, and Joe Armstrong and all those guys. Man, we're working this case. We finally get a good lead. We find some stuff, and I end up getting this CI, and I worked this CI, man. And we worked him, man, good, and he led us, man, down to this place and said, "Hey, this is where all your stuff's going." And we're like, "Nah, there's no way." And it did. We tripped down there with him. He got out of there. Obviously, I'm not gonna get into all that stuff. Yeah. But when we ended up hitting this place, Jay, I had to call a buddy of mine that worked in majors at LA County and said, "Hey, man, I need your guys' help. We need your help. We don't have enough bodies here, according to our CI." He said it's really bad down here. He said, "Tell me where you're at." He told me, he said, "Yeah, you guys, I'll get the Lancaster station. I'll have them, all of them go to you, the whole station."
Was he say cartel guys or no?
Yeah, I'll get into that if you don't mind in a second. Yeah. So he said, so Lancaster deputy showed up initially. His name was Deputy Groupie. I hope you're cool with me throwing out some names.
Yeah, no problem.
He said, "Oh, hey, what are you looking for?" I said, this is what we're looking for. And he goes, "Oh, you know what's crazy?" And this was just, we couldn't believe it when we heard it. He said, "Hey, man, I was out here for a 245, which is assault with a deadly weapon, just 2 days prior." And he goes, "And I know that tractor's here." He goes, "Because I have a picture of it on my phone." He goes, "But I thought it was unusual that there was a tractor out here. Seeing skid steers, mini steers, or, tank, big tank, nurse tank, what we call nurse tanks and things like that, trailers with water, you know what I mean? It's not unusual there, but a tractor, a full-size 5200 series or, 8200 series. I'm sorry, I probably butchered that, but I think it's a 54 or 5200 series tractor. John Deere tractor is pretty big.
$800,000 tractor.
And then it had Tri-T Farms on it on top of that, right? So, I know the owners. I took that report. I'm like, "Yeah, that's ours." He goes, "Yeah, dude, you can't go in that place alone. There's no way you can't." So I called Mike. Mike was a sergeant at majors. He gets a hold of his people. Groupie tells his guys, it all comes together, which I didn't think was going to happen, but it did. We all met at a place outside of this location in the Lancaster area, and we went and we went to this place, to go basically recover our property, because he said, "Dude, there's a ton of stuff out there," which we couldn't see from the road, and back then we weren't using drones. What I mean? We weren't going to do a flyover because we knew if that was the case, especially this area, even the pilots told us later that, we won't fly over this because they know if that's the case, they know cops are coming.
Yeah.
So long story short, we ended up hitting this place. We cleared all, and it turns out that it happens to be a meth conversion lab. So basically, they're taking this liquid methamphetamine and converting it into what we know as ice, glass, methamphetamine, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, LA HIDA came out and said this was the biggest meth conversion lab they've been on west of the Mississippi.
Wow.
At that time. 900, almost 1,000 gallons. I think it was 920 gallons of liquid methamphetamine plus I don't know how many kilos that were already processed. Guns. I mean,
how many suspects do you guys take down?
We ended up there was only 6 there at the time. We almost were involved in a shooting. I mean, it got pretty hairy.
6 guys with some weapons can create a lot of hate and discontent.
It got pretty hairy, yeah. And the reason I'm talking about this case, saying, hey, why it was so mind memory for me was, I mean, I was already been working for 27 years. You know what I mean? You always hear about these things, or unless you're working in the HIDA unit or a task force that usually has to do with drugs or trial trafficking.
Yeah.
You don't see a magnitude of drugs this big. You just don't see it.
Yeah.
So I told these guys that were in my unit, I said, hey, look, I'm on my way out. You know what I mean? This is, I think, my 28th year. I said, hey, I'm on my way out, man. I said, look, if you want to get glory photos, you know what I mean? Once they allow it and everything's cleared and all that, and that happens. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat that shit. It does.
But that's a huge rip. You could go your whole career and never have another one like that.
No, and that's what I told them. I said, look, guys, I've been doing this for 20, and I've never seen any shit like this before. I'm telling you right now, if you're going to take photo, remember this, because you'll never see this again.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a huge rip.
It was insane. I mean, the air assets, dude, that LA County had, the announcements, the people that they had coming that helped us. Tulare County drove to get there to us because they're like, oh shit, you know what I mean? We're going to miss out. They hauled ass and got down here, got down there. It was a great case. We were down there for 2 days because we couldn't leave. Obviously, once they started to clean it up, we couldn't go anywhere. That was very memorable. I mean, there's been a ton. I mean, that one was big for my guys because our unit was small. There was only 4 of us. And I'm big into the small unit tactics. I mean, like the SWAT teams and the, things of that nature. But that was memorable. A child homicide was very memorable. And then there's just several calls. I mean, guys calling you back saying, hey, man, thanks, which is very, very rare.
Big time.
Pursued a guy that, Kern County was looking for. We chased this guy for 3 hours. And I remember CHP asking us, hey, man, why are you guys chasing this guy on the radio, on primary? You guys got a tracker on this guy's car, on his truck. Why are you chasing him? We're like, dude, we've been chasing this guy for 6 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're not giving him up this time. We're going. And we did. And then he called me because he went to prison. We made a deal with him. He said, hey, dude, look, you get us, we're missing like almost $500,000 in equipment. Smaller equipment, like mini skids and little smaller tractors and implements and those things. Diesel fuel. Hey, man, where is this stuff? And I said, look, it's a new time, man. AB 109 is not going to allow us to get you off on a pursuit because it's technically they see it as being violent. I do as well.
I do too, because this, man, it puts the public at serious risk,
and us, not even us. And we can call it off if we want, and most of the time we don't, but sometimes we do.
You know what? I tell you, one time Luma did a search warrant, man, and we hit a house in Farmersville, and dude, 35 pounds of methamphetamine.
That's huge.
That's
huge.
Massive.
Yeah.
And then I think there was always like 6 pounds of coke, and then 5 pounds of heroin, and $400 and something thousand cash.
Yeah.
And dude, I remember looking at that and going, "This is a huge rip."
Yeah.
And you know what? We never saw one as big as that again.
And that's what I mean.
You know what I mean?
Same thing.
And
100%.
In your experience, what makes a great investigator?
For me, I think it's the never quit attitude.
Yeah.
And I say that again from experience, from working a few cases where I'm like, man, I don't know. And you're just like, shit, man, I'm coming to a dead end. You're going down a rabbit hole, it ends. You go down another one, it ends. And you're like, no, dude, I got to get closure for the people, the victims involved, whether it's a violent crime or it's a property crime, you know what I mean? Because to me, they're no different.
Yeah.
I mean, and people might take that the wrong way. They are different because one involves a life and the other one doesn't.
Yeah.
But when you take somebody's property away and that's all they have, you know what I mean? You're taking their life from them as well. Granted, it's not a human life, but I think you understand what I'm saying.
I do. And I would tell you something. You know what a lot of people used to tell me, you know what we like about you, McWilliams? And I would be like, what? And they were like, you show up, you listen to us, and then you really go after the suspects. And that's what people want. And you know what? And you know this, man, I mean, we've both worked cases where, hey, there just comes a point in time. Let's say you got 10 victims. But you know this, Rod, we could keep pulling threads until we get 20.
20, well,
right. And then, and then here we are,
Been there, done
and it's like, and all these people that we're going after, these guys are not the type of guys that are coming up with 72 different ways to use a peanut. These people are just straight up thugs. And man, when I went after this, I went hard. I always went hard. And they would be like, hey man, I mean, they used to tell me, hey man, why are you taking this shit so personal? And I'm like, because I'm these people's avenging angel. And I'm like, you know what, dude, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
How important is intuition in police work?
See, I could go. I think I'm almost going off on tangents on stories, and I apologize.
No, but I'd love to hear it because I think what you're doing, it's relatable. Because you know what? A lot of part of my show is this. If somebody wants to get into law enforcement, I want them to listen to somebody like you. I want them to listen to somebody like me. Because it's not all fun and games, Rod.
No,
and there's a price to be paid. But
there's some deep
I was going to say,
prices.
but intuition has saved my life, and I'm sure it saved yours.
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, intuition to me is big. You get the gut feeling, and people say, "Oh, no, I don't know about that." Well, when you do that, when you're in our line of work, it pays off. And for me, it's paid off a few times, and other times it paid off a while down the road, but it took some heartache. You know what I mean?
Well, how about
to go
this?
there? So
we've all been in those little hairs on the back of your neck.
Hell yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. Mm-hmm. And hey, when that happened to me, man, my gun was in my hand. I was out. I was ready to go because I just think, and I've talked about this. We have to give people the benefit of the doubt too much, and I hate that.
Absolutely, now we do.
Yeah, and I hate that, and I think deputies and police officers have been killed because of that, giving people that little bit of benefit of the doubt. Hey, man, I used to say this: I'd rather get written up, man, than be dead.
Oh, yeah, I've been there. I've done it. I don't.
Yeah,
it's fine with me. I don't care.
Yeah. And I remember one time my boss was like, "Why is every time we show up on something, you got your gun out?" And I'm like, "Dude, we been on 10-851s," and he told me that. And I told him one day, "I'm not going to get shot because of you, man." I go, "If you got something to write me up, do it. Get on with it."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "But look, man, when I feel threatened or I feel like something's off, that gun is coming out."
Absolutely.
You supervised undercover rural crime operations. What is it like living in the tension between patience and danger during operations, man?
It's. I mean, you've been there. You've done some UC stuff.
Yeah.
I think.
Big time.
So ours was a little different as far as rural crime. So we're not really dealing with the dope dealer. I mean, well, you are, but you're not, right? I mean, we're not specifically targeting drugs.
Yeah.
Like the majority, I think, of your UC stuff and gang people.
Correct.
And gangsters. We're targeting more crankster tweakers. You know what I mean? They're out stealing stuff so they can get their dope, or they're working for cartels because of a lot of the illicit weed grows that were popping up everywhere. On the west side in our county and everywhere in the county, Tulare, everywhere. So
I always say it's always tough because here's the thing. I don't have patience. My patience is very small. And I know this. Guys like me and you, we don't do good sitting back. We just want to go, and we want to go after the people. There's danger in that.
Ask me that question one more again, if you don't mind.
I just said, what is it like living in the tension between patience and then the danger during an operation?
Okay. I think the easiest way for me to answer that is it all I would think about when it comes to that, especially dealing with doing UC stuff, is worried about my guys.
For sure.
That's the biggest stressor or tension for me, is like, shit, man. did we get this brief right? Do they understand? Do they have enough experience? And sometimes you just go, man, look, we gotta pull out of this one. We can't. These guys don't know enough, or they haven't been around long enough, or they haven't done it enough. Because we used to do a lot of buyback stuff, man, and just bust people, you know what I mean, in parking lots, but we'd always have other marked people with us. So the tension for me was, somebody gets hurt. It's like, okay, what's taking so long? Especially if I'm not eyes on, or I'm not in that position where they're doing the UC stuff, but all I can do is see them, you know what I mean, or watch them from afar and go, what the fuck's going on, So I again, patience. So I think that's for me was the big thing, was worried about my guys.
You know what? And there's many times we downed operations. We would just down them because guess what?
Too dangerous, man.
I was going to say, something felt off, or there was more suspects there than what we thought.
Intel, something.
Yeah, kids, too many kids in the house, and there's just times that, hey, I never had a problem just saying, hey, man, let's down it. Yeah. Hey, we'll hit it tomorrow, whatever, because this, man, I think sometimes if we go full bore and we don't take all those other things into consideration, that's where
somebody gets hurt.
I mean, dude, I've been on multiple times, dude, twice in my career where we hit the wrong fucking house, dude. You know what I mean? Yeah, hey, dude.
There's,
you know what I mean?
I've been on an op where I've seen that happen before. Yeah.
And for the folks at home, it's a big deal when we knock the door down of a house that that's right next door to the house we were supposed to hit. They look identical, and now you're busting somebody's door down that has committed no crime.
It's not good.
I mean, somebody from the city would just show up and write a check, and we'd be on our way. But nonetheless, that's how easy things can get turned around. Mm-hmm. And search warrants and tactical operations can turn deadly in seconds. How do you mentally prepare for uncertainty?
Me personally, and I used to tell my trainees this when I had trainees when I was an FTO. Regardless of whether it's a search warrant, it's a SWAT op. I don't care if it's just a normal traffic, the quote routine traffic stop, just a ped check, pedestrian check. I'm always running scenarios through my head, always.
Yeah,
always.
How could this go sideways?
Right. Okay. Hey, this guy's going to come out with a gun. He's going to start shooting at us at our car. Or, we're going up to do the 844. The knock and notice, and bullets start flying. What are we going to do? How are we going to react to this? Who's going to do what? So for me, that's what I would always do. And in tactical ops, we're getting ready to serve search warrants, whether I was on SWAT or rule crimes, whatever the case was. I'm always going through the briefing packet, you know what I mean? Making sure I got, okay, hey, this is who we're looking for. This is what's going on.
Closest hospital areas.
I mean, you're talking about everything, man. I mean, everything we gotta do when we do the ops plan, because it's got to be approved by me and it's got to be approved by my supervisor. If it's SWAT, it's by the SWAT, supervisor.
Were you guys doing a lot of threat matrices?
Yes, we weren't initially when I was first on the SWAT team, and then yes, it went to that.
And for the folks at home, a SWAT matrix is this: they'll take an operation and then they'll rate it of how dangerous it could be. And it's got to be to a certain level on the matrix to use SWAT.
Yes.
And if it's not, then we have to. We used to be doing all these search warrants.
I know.
And like just regular body armor, not even level 4. You know what I mean? And and no long guns. And I'm thinking in my mind, what the heck were we doing?
Well, right, yeah. I agree. Yeah.
And we got lucky if you really think about it. Mm-hmm. What does leadership look like in the middle of chaos?
People may take this the wrong way, but to me, leadership in and when it's a chaotic and even a kinetic type of environment, to me is calm.
Big time.
I've been in a few where I've been in leadership positions, and I've been in a few where I haven't been in leadership positions, and I've seen guys that have been in them that have freaked out. On both sides, when I mean by both sides, I mean in law enforcement and in the military. And I've seen guys that have been just stoic badasses. You know what I mean? Just, okay, we got to get this up. We got to do this. We got to do that. I would like to think in a few scenarios. In fact, I've been approached by people and told, hey man, how are you so calm, dude? Why are you just so chill? And again, it's because of that. But I think calm is big.
Well, it is because as the supervisor, we're all going to take our cue from you. So if you're flipping, other guys are going to flip out.
Yeah.
We had a guy that we worked with in the gang unit, and he was very calm. And we took him, and he was only a 2-striper, but man, we treated him better than we treated the sergeant because guess what, dude? He was that dude. His name was Brian Winter. And I took a lot of cue from him, man, because he could, when it was just like the worst of the worst going on, he was calm, cool, collected. We took our cues from him. Our sergeant was the one that was all excited and flipping out.
Yeah.
But you trained younger deputies for years. What values did you try hardest to pass on to the next generation? Let me tell you about someone who isn't just working in real estate. He's redefining what it means to serve. Chase Taylor is not your typical agent. His journey began in 2005 in the heart of California's Central Valley, where he built his business on a simple but powerful belief. The real estate should be rooted in real value, real effort, and real care for people. Now based in Orange County, he has elevated that vision into something rare. Because with Chase, the relationship doesn't end when the papers are signed. While others hand over the keys and disappear, he shows up. Literally. On closing day, he arrives with a moving crew ready to help carry not just boxes, but the weight of transition. That's not just service, that's commitment you can feel. And now he's coming full circle, expanding back into the Central Valley, bringing the same hands-on approach to the very community where it all began. It's more than business, it's a return to roots, a promise to give back with the same grit and heart that built his name. If you're buying or selling, don't settle for someone who simply opens doors. Choose the agent who walks through them with you, who lifts, carries, and moves with purpose. Call Chase Taylor at 949-702-9106 and tell him that J-Mac sent you.
For me, there was a couple. One was you're providing this service to somebody, and you better be busting your ass and doing everything possible you can to get a result or an answer, something for the victim.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, then to me, you're lying to him. And that's unacceptable to me. And second is do yourself, you know what I mean? Some justice by going, hey, I'm going hard. You know what I mean? I need to take some self-care of myself. But I think the most important for me was, dude, just be honest with who you're talking to. Look, and if you tell them you're going to do something, you better fucking do it.
I agree.
Because if you're not going to do it, then you're lying to them. And you don't want them lying to you, right? Nope. Well, then don't tell them it if you're not going to do it. Because if you're going to tell them that, guess what? And you're with me, we're going to go follow up on it. And then when they ask you, you're going to tell them the answer to why you did or you didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately. And then they learn, oh, now I get it.
No, I totally agree. My big one too was, hey, dude, just do it the right way and you don't got to worry about it. When I was training a guy,
absolutely.
Hey, man, I'd be like, look, if we got to stick around an hour after we get off work to book all this evidence, let's do it. Because guess what? I'd rather do that and somebody jam me up. Hey, Jay, did you ask to stick around for an hour? No, but I had 25 pieces of evidence. I wanted this shit.
Right.
I don't want to be driving around with this shit in my trunk and then something bad happens.
Not only that, Jay, you don't want to lose it in court either.
Damn right.
Some kind of chain of custody. Look at this guy, man. He's the guy with the evidence issues, man. I don't know, man. We can't trust Jay, man.
100%.
For what?
I always just did it that. And when I was training new guys, I was like, look, dude, if you do it, you can go home and sleep tonight and you don't have to worry about it. Nope. But if you go home and you try to half-ass this shit, that's when it comes back and bites.
Yep.
We're going to transition real fast. Okay. I am a master storyteller and I got a story for you. Okay.
Uh-oh.
So, my dad was not a good dad when I was young. And I didn't talk to my dad from the time I was 5 until I was 25. And I got to believe that once I became a cop, me and him becoming reunited was because I was a cop, right? Because he loved to brag, hey, my son's a cop, right? But anyways, my dad comes to me and he says, hey, man, I'm going to have to go under the knife. They're going to have to go in and do a quadruple bypass on his heart. And so he puts his house in my name. And, kind of tells me if I don't make it, then this is yours and take it. And because I got some other half siblings and I'm the cop and they're all kind of outlaws. And so, he's like, I want you to have my stuff. And I was like, okay, Pop, whatever you want me to do. So my dad goes in, he has the surgery. Well, anyways, man, they have to crack him open and something happened and they nicked something in there. Well, 2 days later, they had to open him back up, go back in there, and he had a massive stroke on the table. So the doctor told me, he's like, hey, man, he's like, your dad had a major stroke. He's like, I don't think he's ever going to be what he was. He was like, so you need to kind of prepare yourself. And man, it was so prophetic, Rod, because my dad was a strong dude. My dad was a bail bondsman, a private investigator, a bounty hunter. And when he came out of this, he was not the same. And I could see it. And it was really sad to watch. Anyways, the day we're going to release him from the hospital, I get this half-sister that shows up. And she's like, I'm going to take care of him. Well, dude, Rod, I'm in the gang unit. I'm running and gunning. I got no time to take care of him.
Right.
So I said, all right. So we take him home. We get him home. She's like, hey, I'll stay with him. And I'm like, okay. And I was hoping for the best, but I was preparing for the worst. And it lasted all of 24 hours. So I show up the very next day and I'm in uniform. And I'm over in Tulare. We're doing a search warrant over there. So I stopped. My dad lived in Tulare. I stopped by to check on him. And his safe is open. And but I'd already taken everything out because he told me to, right? So this half-sister's like, where's the stuff in the safe? I go, he told me to clean it out. It's at my house. And she's like, I can't take care of him anymore. She goes, I'm leaving. And I go, roger that. So she leaves. Adios. So now I got to call my mom, who was wife number 4, and his very first wife to come and take care of my dad. Well, anyways, my dad wore these ladies out, and he was a real pistol to be around during that time. But this started the beginning stages of dementia, okay? So one day I'm at work, my dad calls me up, and I could tell by his voice something was off. And he's like, you broke into my house. And I said, Pop, number one, I'm a police officer, but there's number 2, there's nothing in your house I want. Why would I break in there? I go, Pop, I love you. I wouldn't steal from you. I go, there's nothing in there to steal. He goes, I want you to sign this house back over to me. But it was the girlfriend. She wanted the house, right? Okay. So I said, Pop, I'm not going to do that. And he goes, if you don't sign this house over to me, I'm going to destroy your career. And I said, well, Pop, you got to do what you feel is best. But I knew at that point, I'm not really talking to my dad anymore. The dementia and the stroke had kind of taken him. Well, dude, my dad calls Vice PD, talks to the lieutenant, and tells the lieutenant that I showed up at his house in full uniform at 9 a.m. and threatened to kill him, okay? So the boss calls me up and he goes, Jay, we got a problem. And I was like, what's up, boss? And he's like, so your dad says this. I go, it's bullshit and I can prove it. How can you prove it, Jay? I was assigned to Redwood at the time. And I said, well, I always park my car in this certain area because there's a camera on it because kids had vandalized it before, right? And I said, so why don't you come over, look at the video, and we'll go from there, right? So he shows up. Sure shit, we look at the video. You see me show up at 7:45 in the morning like I'm supposed to. And the car didn't move for, the next 4 hours, right? And so anyway, so he goes, I'm going to call your dad right now. You don't say a word. And I said, roger that. So he calls my dad and he goes, Wayne, it's got to let you know, we looked into it. This is bullshit, but it's a crime to file a false report against an officer. So we need to make you aware of that. Well, now he tries to pull his girlfriend into it. She saw it. The girlfriend was wise enough to go, I ain't getting in the middle of this. Then my dad said the worst thing you could ever say on a recorded line. Tell Jay when I see him again, I'm going to kill him. Okay? So now he's told that to a lieutenant at the Vice Police Department on a recorded line. So now, Rod, now we're off in some scary territory, right? Now I realize it's no longer my dad. This is somebody that now he's become almost an adversary, right? So, hey, the lieutenant writes up a full-blown 422 report, which is terroristic threats, and instructs me to go get a restraining order because the PD does not want to get sucked into this bullshit, right?
Yeah, sure.
Right. Yeah. So I did what I was instructed to do. Go file the restraining order. They do the 422. Now we show up at court 2 months later. And my dad shows up and he's in a wheelchair and he's truly, he is a shell of the man that he used to be. And he looked horrible and he just didn't look like himself. And he's with these shady ass people who I don't know. But he gave the girlfriend his power of attorney. And so long story short, we get him up on the witness stand. And my lawyer's like, why would you threaten to kill your son? And my dad's like, I ain't going to hurt nobody. And couldn't answer any of the questions. Asked to go to the bathroom. We take a 5-minute recess. He comes back. He has to go to the bathroom again. And the judge just looks at me and they go, we're going to grant the restraining order. So they give me the restraining order. And it was sad because I had to do this against my own dad.
Right.
Now the girlfriend has his medical power of attorney. She puts my dad in a nursing home. Okay. And I have no legal recourse, Rod, to do anything because she has this.
Power,
yeah. And so the house is in my name, so I give her a 30-day eviction notice. Well, she ends up extending this out for 6 months. We finally end up in court. I finally get my house. It took me 6 months to do it, but I go in there, and this was like hardwood. They had destroyed the hardwood, took out all the appliances, ceiling fans were ripped out of the ceiling, and it became this cautionary tale of this, and it really highlighted this. I never really had a good relationship with my dad until later on in life because I was a cop. But then being a cop, it actually ended up destroying my relationship with my dad. And then once the dementia took hold, then we got off on this wild stuff. And my dad ended up having severe dementia at the end of his life. He didn't know who I was, who he was, where he was. And when he died, Rod, I wasn't even sad. It was just a close to a chapter of my life that had just been nothing but pain from the time I was 5 years old until I was 40-something years old.
Oh, I know that.
So,
I get
you
that.
know what I mean? And so that, in a nutshell, is how my relationship ended with my dad, which was horrible.
Yeah.
All right. Transition back to you. All right. You worked deadly force investigations and critical incidents. How heavy is the emotional burden of those moments?
Well, I guess it kind of depends on who's involved, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but I mean as far as suspects and or if it's one of our own, that happens to be shot or killed.
OISs are a big deal.
OISs are huge.
They're a big deal.
They're super huge.
If they're done right, it's all fun and games. If they're done wrong, we get off in some crazy territory.
Yeah, so I think it depends on that, really, Jay. I mean, who's involved, what's involved, what the stakes are. K9's getting partners getting shot as well or injured.
Oh,
yeah. Man. I mean, that's almost like an open-ended question where it could just go on and on and on.
It is.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just, I don't.
No, there's too much to encapsulate in that. And what I will tell you this, the reason I wrote that question was this. I tell people this. You guys see this, that a law enforcement officer shoots somebody. What you don't know is everything that happens after that. Because guess what? Especially if the suspect is shot dead, it's still looked at as a homicide.
It's a homicide until you're cleared. Yes, it is.
And the officer has read his rights, weapons taken, put on admin leave, then's got to go see the psychologist, and then if it's clear, it's deemed a righteous shooting, right? Then you can come back. But if it's not, I've seen guys off for years, bro.
Oh yeah,
and it gets scary. And, this is also your livelihood.
Yes.
But it's also your freedom could be wrapped right into it.
Oh, yeah.
And so the weight of OIS, and I've been in a lot of them, I know you have too, you walk away going, it's a crapshoot, man, sometimes.
Well, yeah. I agree, and I think that it boils down. I can't speak for Visalia PD, but I know for us it's changed
you guys used to shoot a lot of people over there.
We went in a lot of shootings. And it was before where it was, hey, Hanford's going to do this, investigation, or then the DA's office is going to do it. Well, then there was some spouts between the DA and the sheriff at the time. And I was like, I don't trust these guys, you know what I mean? And and then it was
DOJ.
Then it was, before even DOJ, then it was, okay, well, now we're going to have this conglomerate, of all the different agencies. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute. That's not going to work either, man, because everybody's use of force policy is different.
Yeah.
Right? Very, very similar, but they're different, right?
Did you guys use Lexapol like everybody else?
Yeah. At the time, no. You know what I mean? At the very beginning, no. But towards the majority of my career, yes. But yeah, man, that can be very scary, and especially if you don't know who's doing it. And then with the presence of DOJ now, with the new laws, there wasn't a real weapon there, but because they're said to be a weapon, we got to come investigate it. Well, now they're doing the whole thing.
Plus, I'm seeing. I keep reading
scary,
about guys getting decertified. Man, losing your post.
SB,
and that I think is going to be the new wave of the future.
I 100% agree, and I will tell you this: when I was done with the sheriff's office, SB2 was a big reason why.
Yeah.
And people used to ask me, why, man? Why? I'm like, well, you can read all SB2, and if you've a real cop, you're going to really read that because it's big.
Big time.
It tells you all the things that, how they can basically revoke our post, which is basically our license to be a cop. And for the people who don't understand. But nowhere in there that I read does it say how you get your job back if you're found innocent on this. This was a 7 or 9 person panel. I can't remember, Jay, what it is now. And what happens to your retirement?
Oh yeah,
and all those things. None of that's in SB2 that I read. None of it.
Well, this. How many times have we seen guys get canned and you lose your purse, or you lose what you put in, and you only get, you get what you put in,
but you don't get the contribution.
Yeah.
Yes,
and. Dude, that's 50% of your jack. And you know what, man? I was with you, man. I was just thinking in my mind, I'm so glad I got out without.
Oh, me too,
because I was involved in an officer-involved shooting. I know you were. And it's just sad because guess what, man? We're in a scary time. And I think law enforcement has been vilified so much, brother, that I just think we're going to start seeing more cops going to jail. And I think that's going to happen.
No, I agree, and I want to make sure that I get this out there so people don't get the wrong idea. I was never a shooter in an active involved shooting, but I was.
You've been there,
and I've been there when there was active shooter going on. I just didn't have the opportunity to be involved because of obviously for safety reasons of people that were in the way and things of that nature. But, man, I commend these this young. I don't want to say crowd, but young generation, I guess.
Yes.
That's coming in to do this job, man, because I would not, knowing what I know now and when I started and when I got out, what I know now, I would never want to be a police officer. But I don't want to ever knock anybody's dream of that's what they want to do,
I'm with you, man. Well, and I would tell you something, man. The tough part now is this. Think about this. We got to leave at 50, bro. Dude, these new kids got to go to 57. Dude, think about a 21-year-old kid, dude, that's got to do a 36-year career, Rod. I mean, bro, I did 25, man, and it seemed like forever. If they would have told me I had to do another 10 years to do my PERS, I'd have bawled my eyes out.
Yeah, man, I don't even think we'd be able to get out of a patrol car, man, at 57. But yeah, like mine was different, though. You guys were 3 at 50. We were 3 at 55.
Oh, 55. So, well, even this, hey, and there's serious talk about pushing it to 60.
60. Well, I don't know I'm going to be honest with you. If you're pushing a patrol car at 60, you got some problems.
Hey,
I mean, if you're able to do it at 60 and be good at it, good luck, man. I mean, because I don't know how your knees or your anything, man, is going to sustain that. Because, man, that's even at 55. I don't think people even get the idea how tight it is in a patrol car with the console weapon, an AR, or whatever you want, M4, whatever you want to call it, a shotgun. Your radios, your MDTs in there, in the way. Now you got your gun on a drop holster and you can bear, man. So I don't think people get how tight it is in there, man.
Well, also too, man, we had one dude, which was Chamberlain, Dude, he was pushing a black and white at 68.
Yeah,
dude,
I do remember him.
Hey, dude,
Gunny.
Stud.
You talking about Gunny?
Yeah, stud. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No thanks.
What separates someone who wears the badge from someone who truly honors it? Because I knew this. I used to say this. There's two types of people, Rod. There's cops, and then there's people pretending to be cops.
Well,
I think we've both seen that.
And I'm going to say it this way: there's to me, there's professional cops and there's badge heavy cops.
Big
and
time.
you and I both know what that means.
Big
and
time.
for those who don't know what it means, badge heavy cops are the guys who are the badasses. You know what I mean? That wear a badge, that think they're a badass when there's a big crowd around. There's other cops, and they can push the limits, talk shit, maybe abuse suspects at times. You know what I mean? And get away with it when they shouldn't. They talk a lot of smack, you know. But then there's professional ones who don't have to do that because they're respected by the criminal community. Believe it or not, you and I know you know this. I mean, there's areas we can go into as cops and people are like, yep, here comes Big Slim.
Yeah.
Hey man, dude, you guys don't fuck with these guys, man, or don't talk shit to him because you know what? He'll throw down. He don't care.
Yeah.
You know, and then they're like, well, yeah, I remember him from the jail or whatever, you know. Oh, yeah. I remember Big Slim. Okay, yeah, man, don't mess with him.
Yeah.
So there's a healthy respect, right? But somebody who honors that, man, and honors what each one of those points on that star means, at least for us in the sheriff realm, man, you got to go home and live in the communities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of times where you're working. I didn't live in Kings County, but man, I'll tell you what, I have more friends in Kings County now that I associate with than I do in Tulare County.
Yeah. I can see that because, man, I mean, 27 years, man, that's a long run, bro.
A lot of dirt over there, man, and still have a lot of friends that we go do things, you know, that they're not cops.
Yeah.
They're just community people over there that I work cases for. I happen to do different things for, or go to different functions with. So I think the honor is really you're doing the job for the right reason.
I agree.
Badge heavy guys are not doing it for the right reasons, man. They're doing it for the glory. Oh, look at me. You know what I mean? Look, I get to do this. I get to do that. I carry a gun. And they're usually the biggest, and I don't want to say the word on but the biggest bitches, you know what I mean, in the agency. And I know you can attest to that.
Oh, big
we
time.
all see them, man.
Dude.
They're all cell soldiers, man. They think there's somebody when the gates close, but you open it, man. They're back. They're the ones running in the critical incidents, losing their minds.
I tell you something, man. We, for a while, and Visalia started doing this, man, we started promoting dudes that just were not good cops. And, man, and you know this, when you promote a dude that's not a good cop, he ends up being not a good supervisor, you know, and he damn sure ain't going to be a good command staff dude.
No.
In today's climate, law enforcement is often viewed through extremes. What do you wish the public better understood about the men and women who do the job?
Well, I can attest for me and like my experiences, but I think the lens that we get looked at through right now, and I mean, I should say when I was working, because a lot of things were happening at that time, you know, body cameras, dash cams on cars, the news with George Floyd. I mean, all this stuff going on, right? I mean, all this crazy shit. SB2 coming out, you know, everybody's, you know, whatever. I think the lens for me, and I remember sitting outside, and I'll tell a story because I'm not afraid to say it, man. I'm a grown ass man, but I cry just like my daughters do sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid to say it, man. I remember sitting outside talking to my wife and being upset about. I don't remember exactly, Jay, what the reason was or what was going on at the time, and I think it was a lot of the Floyd stuff. Being looked at that lens is like, and I remember there being articles about like how, like, look at the cops now, they're gang members. They're just like them. I remember being so pissed off, man, and walking outside just crying, you know what I mean, by feet in the pool, you know what I mean? Just like, man, really people think that we're gang members now? We're not fucking scum like those dudes and killing people, you know, because we get off on it and because, you know, this is my corner, I'm selling drugs here. You know what? Do some guys make mistakes, Jay? Do we all? Yeah, sure. Yeah. Do some cops go too far? Yeah, they do.
I don't know about you, man. Talking about Floyd, I actually thought Floyd, I thought that was a false flag thing when I very first saw it. Because I remember going like this. I've put my knee on 1,000 necks.
100, me too. A billion times.
But never for no 8 minutes and 40 seconds.
Well, no.
And I remember going like this because my wife asked me at the time, she's like, how would you guys have done it? I said, we would have rat packed him, got him to the ground, hooked him up.
Put him on his feet.
Got him on his feet, went over to the car. And I said, and if it took 6 guys to stuff him in the back of that car, we'd have stuffed him in the back of the car.
100%.
I said, and when I was watching that, I just remember going, I don't know why his knee is still on there. And,
especially
and then,
being cuffed and face down.
Yes. And then I remember thinking think about this, man. Now it all came out that, fentanyl was a major contributor to that.
Absolutely.
And I mean, but just think about what Floyd did.
It changed the whole landscape of law enforcement.
It did.
Man.
Well, also,
changed it all.
It split our country.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
If you're looking it through the lens, like you're saying, the lens that I'm seeing it in, for what they're looking through is like, okay, well, the majority of the cops are all bad now. And I remember that, man. Everywhere we went, we were being filmed by cell phones everywhere.
Big time.
Every contact we had. Now all these, and I forget what they call them, these influencers that come up and they would just run up to you and start talking shit.
We used to call them, they're South Valley auditors.
Yes, there you go. Yeah. Those guys, coming up and wanting to get in your face and like start testing you because they want to get a reaction out of you. So I think at the time, the majority of my time as a cop, we were looked at as good. I mean, I know in Kings County where we were looked at as very good.
Yeah.
And that's a very, very conservative county, by the way, too. It's not liberal at all, but there are some liberal. But again, my point is that we were looked at very good for a long time. And I think overall in society, we were looked at as this thug thing, you know what I mean? Or we were out of bounds. I don't know that we weren't out of bounds. There's always a bad apple in each box.
I agree.
You know what I mean? I don't care, Jay. You've known him at your agency. I've known him at mine.
Yeah.
And they're pieces of shit, and they give us a bad name, and that pisses me off.
Yeah.
So I think that lens or that objective at least in our county, we're looking through like, hey, we're still good. These guys are good. They're doing their jobs. Yeah. Do they make mistakes? Do we make mistakes? Sure, we do.
We're human.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But I think overall it was good. But I think nationwide, it wasn't very good. And I still think to this day, I don't really know if it's still that good, to be honest with you. I really don't. I don't think it is.
I don't think we'll ever go back to the old ways. And here's another thing. I think social media has done this.
Yeah.
Everybody now looks at a social media video and people self-elect themselves as experts in law enforcement. And I've had to tell multiple people that I grew up with, I've had to say this, dude, you can watch it on TV. But bro, it's a whole different ballgame when you're there.
You're seeing, man. Yeah,
I go,
you're not there.
And I used to tell people this: that body cam picks up a lot, but it doesn't pick up intuition, feeling. It doesn't pick up every sound. It doesn't pick up everything that we're seeing. And I said, you got to remember this: none of us wants to get into an OIS because the problem is you're going to be so scrutinized. And I said, I go, guys, I said, I'm just telling you, watching a video does not make you an expert in law enforcement.
No, it doesn't.
And I've had some
100%.
people get really pissed off at me
Let
for
them
saying
get pissed
that,
off. They never walked a day in our shoes.
100%. And how do you carry the weight of trauma while still remaining functional for your team, but more importantly, for your family?
Wow, man, that's a good one. For me, it took me a long time to really get this figured out. I mean, I was coming back from, combat deployments. I was already a mess. I guess I hit it fairly well. You know what I mean? I mean, I guess from people who don't know that and didn't understand it, but people who did knew that I was messed up.
Yeah.
So I carried a lot of trauma with not only that military stuff, but a lot with my personal life, you know what I mean? A lot with on the job stuff, you know what I mean? Losing friends, guys committing suicide. I mean, whether one of them being at the SO, others being, from the military. And it's hard, man. It's a hard pill, man. But I'll tell you what, the biggest thing for me that I had to do was I had to get put in check by somebody. By a guy named Ryan Richardson, and I don't know if you're familiar with him or not.
No.
He used to be a deputy at the county, then he worked at the DA's office here in Tulare County. He was in my unit before too. Says, dude, we need to go get you some help, bro, because you're not going down a good path right now.
God bless him for even
absolutely,
seeing
absolutely,
seeing
man,
that,
absolutely. He
yeah.
knew, so I did, and I'll tell you what. Ever since then, Jay, I've been in therapy since 2000 and I want to say 2011, 12ish.
Yeah.
And I'm still, and I still go.
Well, God
that's
bless
been the
you,
biggest
man.
thing for me, man. I know there's a big stigma on that, and I tell everybody, I don't give a shit who you are. I'm not the biggest, baddest dude in the world, but you want to call me a pussy, call me whatever you want. I don't care,
man.
I don't care.
I would tell you this, Rod.
It doesn't bother me, man. It doesn't bother me at all, because losing somebody because they don't have somebody to talk to, like we did with Tom at our agency, man. It didn't even
I always
happen.
say this though, man. I respect a guy that is going like this. I need to go talk to somebody.
Absolutely.
Like, Gibby at the PD. I remember when he was going to do it, dude. And, he was like, man, I don't want guys to look at me bad. And I said, hey, dude, listen, bro, you do what's best for you.
Absolutely.
And I go, you know what role does trust play in tactical teams and law enforcement brotherhood?
Hey, trust is everything, man. When it comes to doing tactical ops, I mean, even just working on the street, man, on a shift, and that's tough because I'll be honest, man. I mean, I one of the reasons why I left the SWAT team was because I told the commander there was people on the team I didn't trust, flat out. I didn't trust them.
Yeah,
they were liars. They had use of force issues. They put me in some bad spots. And I'm not going to lose everything I got because you're overzealous for whatever reason you are. Because you're badge heavy.
Yeah.
Because you think you're somebody, or that you think that they deserve this for whatever reason. Hey, look, man, they're a human just like me. They make mistakes. Now, granted, they may be a scumbag. So what? Yeah. It doesn't give you the right to do that. So you got to have trust, Bam. And I'm telling you right now, that's the main reason why I left the SWAT team as an assistant team leader at the time. I was like, I can't. I told my team leader at the time, I said, man, I can't do this, Jeff. I can't do it anymore. Yeah. Can't do it.
Yeah, because, I mean, I look at the time in the gang unit, man. We did like 300 high-risk search warrants, man. And, dude, you got to have a lot of trust, because guess what? We got weapons out. We're close to each other. Yep. You want to make sure somebody's squared away, because I don't know about you. I do not want to get shot in the back by my own partner.
That's happened on one of ours.
Oh yeah,
I got IND and almost shot in the back, and that's kind of when I drew the line right there.
Yeah, we're gonna transition real fast to a lightning round. Okay.
All
right. Coffee or energy drinks?
Coffee.
Desert ops or ocean ops?
Oh man, I like both. I'm more of a water guy, but
okay.
I like both. There's advantages to both.
Okay. If you had to pick one though.
Yeah. I'm going to say amphib, probably amphib ops. I think amphib.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hardest thing about Force Recon?
The hardest thing? You mean like as far as any aspect of it?
Yeah.
Not getting to see all my boys, man. That's for me has been absolutely the hardest.
I could see that. One word that defines leadership.
Lightning round, huh? Integrity.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Most important survival skill.
Wow. I think it's self-awareness, man. I mean, you gotta, I mean, you can have all the tools in the world, but if you can't see it or visualize it or process it or know that something's coming, then you're already smoked.
You know what we always said in especially in the gang unit, we have to process information at lightning round. Mm-hmm. That people, 1,000 things are coming in, and you got to be able to decipher what's important, what's not.
Yep.
And that is a true skill. Mm-hmm. Night operations or daylight operations?
Night all day, man. Yeah. Night all day.
Yeah. One habit every young officer should build.
One habit. We're still in lightning, huh? Sorry.
Yeah, no, you can elaborate, though. That's fine.
I think, man, that's kind of a hard question because I've been being retired now. I would say just being true to yourself, man, in a lot of different ways.
One of the things for me, I think learning how to truly talk to people.
I agree.
Yeah. What scares you more, chaos or complacency?
Complacency, 100%.
Big time. Favorite firearm you ever trained with?
MP5, hands down.
Oh, dude, yeah, dude. When we were going away from those, because I went to MP5 instructor school. When we were going away from those things, I was just like, man. But in this day and age, man, a 9mm just does not stack up against a 223.
No, I get it. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
But that great weapon, though.
Best ever.
One lesson combat taught you forever.
Oh man, there's a lot. I mean, I think probably the most important for me is life's precious, man.
I agree. I agree.
It's precious. Yeah, that's about all I can say about that.
Most underrated trait in law enforcement.
Underrated, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a good question. Sorry, I never even thought about that.
I think for me, honestly, you know what protected me a lot, and I don't know I know where it comes from, discipline, but dude, I just showed up every day looking the part. Dude, I was squared away, dude. My uniform, my car.
That's a big thing, yeah.
I wanted people to look at me and go, that's what a police officer should look like, and that's what a police officer should act like.
That's true.
It helped me. How about this? Mountains or the ocean?
Ooh, man. See, I love both because I'm an Afro guy. That's like desert and ocean, you know what I mean? Because I hunt a lot, so I'm always I would almost have to say now in this point in my life, I'd say mountains. Okay. But earlier I would have said ocean for sure.
What keeps a team alive under pressure?
Well, to me, it's going to be trust, the number one. I mean, and obviously working with guys that you've known and you know their tendencies, but trust 100%.
Best advice you ever received?
This is going to sound weird, but I mean, and you give it like you got it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
and that's not just like in a bad way. That's in a good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You teach it like you got it. You give it back that way. You always pay it forward.
Yeah.
And you give it, even if you're getting pinned with something, you give it like you get it.
I love it. What's tougher, physical exhaustion or mental exhaustion?
Oh, mental by far for me.
Well, I think it's that way for everybody. It's like people don't realize, especially in, man, I remember, dude, we were like on a 7-day run one time tracking people and all this shit. And I finally went to the boss one day and I just said, look, man, we need a fucking day off, dude. And I said, and it ain't even about being tired. I go, we're just exhausted. Sometimes you just got to get away from it, man.
Yeah. For sure.
One thing civilians misunderstand about tactical work.
Well, tactical work involves a lot of different things, man. A lot of different variables that they don't understand.
Yeah, like suiting up, guns and long guns.
Well, you got guns, you got weapons, you got less than lethal, you got dogs, you got, dude, all these different things that are involved. So I think it's just the variables, man.
Well, people look at it like it's glamorous. And I used to have to tell people,
it's not, man.
It's not glamorous. No. You don't realize all the training we had to do to just get to that point. And then more importantly, if something goes south, stand by to stand by, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Most valuable trait in a Marine.
Again, for me, it's integrity. For me, I can't speak for everybody, every jarhead, but
yeah, I get it. If not the military or law enforcement, what would you have done?
That's a good question. I really don't know, Jay, to be honest with you.
Guys like us, I think we were born to be in service of others. That's honestly what I think. As long as I've known you, Rod, I think service is stitched across your chest, just like it is to me, dude.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'd throw that back at you for sure. I've known you for years, man. You helped out my daughter before in high school. So
no, it's the same stuff, bro. It's like, I always wanted to do this. I always wanted to give people the best I had to give. You did the same.
I tried. Absolutely tried.
Favorite way to decompress after stress?
Wow. Years ago it would have been behind a big bottle of brown water, but now I you know what? now I think it's for me is I like to just go ride, man. That's kind of my safe space now, man. Ride my motorcycle out in the desert or the mountains, wherever, man. Just riding. That's my get down, man.
Okay. Yeah,
that's
and
my decompression right now.
And that's a great thing. Well, I love the fact of this, at least you're not crawling in a bottle every night. And I think that has been the undoing of a lot of dudes.
Oh, I know it has.
Yeah,
you and I know, you and I, oh, yeah.
And what matters more, instinct or training?
Ooh.
I know they're extremes.
I mean, is it the chicken or the egg, right? You know what I mean? So I would almost have to say your instincts, because if you don't have it, like I said earlier, you're kind of almost behind the 8 ball already.
I agree.
And it could be wrong at the time. Yeah. It could be right. And if it's right, then you're good. And if it's wrong, then what's the least that happened?
Yeah, I agree. One word your teammates would use to describe you.
I'd probably say loyal.
Okay.
Loyal.
I could see that. Greatest test of your career?
Of law enforcement career?
Yes.
Is this a speed one or again? Or no?
You can elaborate.
I would have to say, being in the unit that I was in, the last unit in the rural crimes, it was getting somebody in the unit I didn't think belonged there.
Yeah.
100%. And I think that was something also, again, where I came from Force into law enforcement, seeing people doing this job and going, wait a minute, man. And especially being a supervisor, going, wait a minute, this guy doesn't belong. You know what I mean? He doesn't belong here. And then you go, wait a minute, there's a place for them somewhere.
Yeah.
It took me years to figure that out, but there's a place and they're good at something. And believe me, man, I battled that with a guy. I thought in my last unit, I was like, man, this guy's not going to cut it.
Got it.
It turned out that I had to get on him a few times with some stuff, because I know he had some trust issues with me initially. And then once he realized that, hey, dude, I got your back, whether you know that I like you or not, I got your back. And then, hey, let's go do this. Let's do this. And then he starts writing search warrants, and he probably wrote some of the best search warrants at the county they ever wrote. And I told him that. I said that in front of our task force. I said in front of the state task force. He was phenomenal with that, and he was good at it. So I had to sit back and go, wait a minute, okay, well, hey, this is his get down.
Because it's not for everybody.
It's not.
Yeah.
So, that would be my biggest thing, I think.
What motivates you even now?
My kids.
Okay. One piece of gear you could never live without in the field?
Baby wipes.
Yeah. Dude, yeah.
Believe it or not. I know people think I'm crazy for saying that, but it's true.
No, hey, I'm the same way. Do you know what? The gel, it's too strong for my skin, and it dried me out really bad, right? So I used to have to use baby wipes. It's funny, dude. Most important quality in a partner or a teammate?
Them being there. I'm drawing a blank for the word, but their presence and knowing they're going to be there. You know, they got your back no matter what. Just yeah. Okay. I guess it'd be presence. I guess just their presence being there.
Yeah. What gives a man purpose?
I guess that depends on who you ask.
Yeah. You know what, man? I just think for me, even now, obviously service was so important to me my whole life. Now with this podcast, I'm providing a service to people, and I'm still doing that. And I love that. That's what's given me purpose.
That's good.
And, and then honestly, sad part is I didn't find the person I was supposed to be with for the rest of my life until I was 48. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that gives me purpose, because I'm in the best relationship I've ever been in.
I am right now too. 100%.
What does honor mean to you?
That's pretty big for me. I mean, I could go on forever about that, but I mean, to me, that's everything encompassed in a person. Like if you, in guys who know me, and I think guys that I've operated with, they'll say, yeah, dude, Shu does it. He's an honorable guy, man. He's going to stand up for what he believes in, whether it's right or it's wrong, whether you disagree or agree. It's honor is almost, to me, everything encompassed. All these different traits all kind of fall into that.
I agree.
That
and
one,
you know what?
that funnels down into that bowl or whatever you want to call it.
For me personally, I just think I want to continue to do the right thing.
Yeah.
I want to continue to be,
whether you're wearing a badge or not wearing a badge or whatever, it doesn't matter.
I still want to, I want to treat people with dignity and respect. I want to help people when I can, because a lot of people call me for my PI stuff and ask me questions all the time. And you know what I try to do, bro? I never miss a chance to help folks, because you know what, man? When I was a little boy, there was nobody there to help me.
Yep.
And when your story is over, what do you hope people say about you?
You know, I don't. That's something that people may think I'm full of shit, Jay. But I really don't care what a lot of people say about me. Honestly, I mean, what's important to me is my family, my children, my wife, my inner circle of people. You know what I mean? If for lack of a better term, that hey, man, he was a good dad. He did things the right way. He had integrity. Yeah, he made mistakes. Yeah. We all do. He owns them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not perfect, you know what I mean? He still battles demons, you know what I mean, with PTSD stuff and things of that nature. But hey man, I'm just a retired guy, man. I used to be a cop, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I did it the right way. And I've said this in multiple interviews that I've done, you know, for promotions and even told the guys when I left, I said, hey, look, my job when I leave here is to teach you everything I know so you can take my position when I'm gone.
Damn right.
And I think I did that very well from where I left. I mean, I trained 3/4 of that agency of the deputies that are there now. Were in my car. So I would think that, hey man, it's just Shu did it the right way, man. He worked his ass off. He was an asshole to be around sometimes, you know what I mean? He was stern, but he was firm, but he was fair. He didn't take any shit when he didn't need to. And he's a great family guy.
And
he's a
I
good
would tell
dad.
you this.
You know what I mean? I think that's big for me because I didn't have a good dad like you, Jay. So
yeah. Well, I tell you this, man. Again, Rod, I've never heard anybody say anything other than that. Man, you are a hard charging deputy over there, and man, and that in itself, it says a lot about you without even saying it. Because guess what? If they were to say, "Hey, man, he was horrible," I'd been like, "Oh man, I hate to hear that." But dude, everyone's like, "No, man, he's squared away, man." And and, but I know this. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. You're not everybody's cup of tea.
Well, you know what? But that's what I was just going to say is, look, there's guys over there I know that don't like me. I get it.
Yeah.
You know, and there's guys over there I don't like. But you know what? If you honestly said, hey, man, well, you may not like the dude, but was he a good cop?
Yeah.
I already know what their answer is going to
be. Same way for me. Have you ever had a moment where another officer or a Marine saved your life either physically or mentally?
Mentally, yes. I mean, physically, I would say no. Mentally, yes, for sure. Which is what I spoke about Ryan earlier. Ryan for sure.
Some counseling.
Ryan for sure. Physically, I've been in some on the other side of those coins.
Yeah.
In fact, anyways, yeah.
Okay.
Just fit mentally for sure.
You spent your life operating in environments where hesitation can be fatal. Has that mindset affected the way you live outside of work?
Yes, 100%.
Me too, bro. Me too, brother.
100%.
Yeah, man, because, man, I think I've gotten better, man, but, dude, I spent a lot of years, man, I don't do good with bullshit, man.
I don't either. I don't think any real good cop does.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably one of our biggest downfalls on the outside is like, holy 100%. Shit, man, back it down, bro. You're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, yes. And, acid could drip from my tongue sometimes, man. You know what I mean? And
me too. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And, what does courage actually feel like in real life? Not in the movies, but in those moments where everything is on the line.
To me, again, that's kind of a twofold question. I mean, courage at the time of when you're in some like a kinetic type of situation.
I don't know about you. I never thought about it. I didn't
go, oh my God, this is I think it's humbling.
Yes.
and that maybe people don't understand that, but I guess it's kind of hard to explain. And then I think courage when you're in it too, it's if you're a leader and you've been in certain things like that, you don't even think about it. You just act. You just do it.
Well, there's no time to really think.
You just go. You just do it.
Yeah.
You just make shit happen, and you can go, okay, man, I'm worried about my guys. If that's courage, call what you want. I don't know.
When I was training guys, I used to tell them this: "Hey, bro, make a decision one way or another."
Yes.
Because here's the thing: we can't call the cops. We are the cops, right?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "You got to do something." Was there ever a moment in your career when you questioned whether you could keep going?
In law enforcement?
Yeah. I only thought about quitting about 100 or 200 times.
Well, I mean, yeah, because every day is a bad day, right?
Yeah,
when you're close to retirement. No, but I would. Ooh, that's tough. Yeah. Well, yeah. There's been a time. Yeah, there's been a time for sure.
You know,
there's been more than one.
I used to take my career in 5-year increments, and I remember one time one of the rookies asked me, he goes, "Jay, how'd your career go?" And I said, "The first 5 years they sucked. The second 5 years they really sucked, and then the third 5 years, those were probably my worst years. And then once I got to 20 years, from 20 to 25, those years sucked." You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I know. Yeah. I know what you're
But you know what I'm saying, right?
Yes, I do.
What has been the hardest part of leadership for you personally? A lot of responsibility with it.
Well, I mean, there is. I think that if for me, as far as leadership wise, Jay, is just if I'm not passing that on or trying to get those leadership principles or traits, whatever you want to call them, to people that work for me or even my kids, for that matter, whoever, then I'm failed. If I'm not paying it forward, then I failed somewhere. Where that is, I don't know, or how that is, I hope I don't find out.
Yeah.
Or if it's something specifically with my children, I do want to find out because I want to know why.
Yeah. No, I get it. You've seen both violence and service at the highest levels. Do you still believe people are fundamentally good?
I do, Jay. But there's always a bad apple somewhere. And then I'll say this, because you know me, man. I don't filter a lot of shit. I don't sugarcoat it. There are some people that I just despise.
Me
and
too.
I think I hate and are cowards.
Yeah.
And the majority of those are from military, operations in different countries, obviously. But fundamentally, yeah, I think people are. I think they're good, but I think I don't know. There's just a weird shift going on right now with a lot of things, man. I don't know what's going on, but
well, also, man, there is a part of society out here that are true wolves.
Oh no, they are. I mean, we can get into that. Because that's I mean,
I'm a
sheepdog, dude. I get it. Yeah.
What lessons from combat translated directly into police work?
Critical incidents for sure.
Yeah.
Shootings, high stress situations.
Yeah, managing stress, I'm sure.
Recovering people. 100% stress related, high stakes.
Yeah.
Kinetic, again, I keep using kinetic because that's a word we use all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Kinetic type situations, and what I mean by that is like a firefights and things of that nature.
On the move. Yeah.
Yeah. And surviving, you know what I mean? It's dude, look, you're not gonna bury me in this sandbox, you know what I mean? In a body bag out here.
Love it.
And then when I'm on the street, dude, I'm going home because I have 4 kids to take care of.
Damn right.
Period. I'm not gonna let it happen, and I'm gonna try my damnedest to not let it happen to the guys that work with me around my shift.
Love it. What lessons from police work translated back into your understanding of humanity?
Not everybody's a liar, Jay. Even the shitbags, man. I mean, honestly, that may sound crazy, but
no, there's some truth to that.
I mean,
exactly
right? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like you're talking about humanity. You know what I mean? And our people, is that how they are now? I don't know. That's for me. I would say not even some of the shittiest shitbags you and I know, Jay. They're humans too. And I'm not no softie. I'm not, you know what I mean? That's not me. But I know there's been one where you've gone, man, this guy's a pile. And then you go, wait a minute. Okay, man, why did he give me this? Or why did he tell me that? There's a reason why they're doing that.
Big time. Yeah.
There's a reason.
A lot of times, especially some of our CIs, man, we got to know.
And that's what I'm getting at. There's a reason why.
Yeah.
Granted, are they trying to get off a sentence? Most of them? Yeah, but there's a real reason.
Yeah.
You and I know that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I tell you something, man. I got to know a couple of them really well. And, man, they all got a pretty sad story. You know what I mean? Sure. Yeah. But sometimes I would walk away with a renewed sense of the goodness of people. And, and not all the time, but some. In your opinion, what is the difference between authority and respect?
Respect comes when everything's even at its worst.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody's on whatever, they're pissed off, they're upset, whatever. Authority, you could just show up and be authority sometimes.
Yeah.
You can be a quiet authority like we talked about earlier. You're in the job for the honor of it, and the respect, or you're badge having, you're looking for attention, whatever you want to say. But I think it's when it's the hardest, when times are the hardest, man.
Big time.
That's not authority, man.
Well, you know what? When we would show up to calls a lot of times, I mean, people would tell me, "Hey, can I tell you something, officer?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Man, dude, you look sharp." And I'd be like, "Hey, thank you." You know what I mean? Because I took it serious. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to look like a shitbag.
Right.
And when command presence is real.
Yep.
And what does accountability mean in professions where lives are at stake?
Everything.
I agree. Man, and I think sometimes I used to see some guys should have been held far more accountable than they were, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and,
me too.
How important is emotional control in tactical professions?
It's very important. I mean,
big time.
You lose your cool.
People can die.
No, they can. They're going to get injured and they're going to die. Correct. Or you're going to lose everything because you're out of control.
I agree. What role did family play in helping you survive the emotional weight of your law enforcement career?
This gets me super emotional, man, Jay. But my children, for sure. And specifically my son, one time when he said, "Hey, Dad, you're scaring me."
Yeah. I could see that.
That's all. I was like, fuck, man, I got to get help, man. Something's wrong. Like, I'm in a bad way. You know what I mean? So I tell everybody that my son, I think, is the one who really saved me from going off the edge.
Good. Well, God bless that even happened, Rod.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, man, because you know what? How easily can we become statistics?
Oh, there's a lot more than most people out here know.
Yes.
I mean,
after decades in high pressure environments, how did you personally find peace?
I think being gone now and being able to reflect on everything, Jay. Yeah. I mean, just looking back and going, man, I did a lot of cool shit. I did a lot of stuff I didn't want to do. I saw a lot of things I didn't want to see. I think just time.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah. Have you ever struggled with the silence after the adrenaline fades? Because I did.
Yes, very much so. Very much so.
Yeah. I realized there were years where I was an adrenaline junkie. I know that now. You know what I mean?
You just figured that out.
I mean, I was always...
You would ask me 20 years ago, I'd have told you that. Jay.
Yeah. I was an adrenaline junkie. And you know what, though, man? But I think now, I'm 55 years old, and I've had some time to reflect. And, and I've been out 5.5 years, bro. And I think differently now. And I think that the way that I'm supposed to be thinking, because back then I think I had some years where I was fifth gear pinned, man.
Oh no.
And
Mach 5, yeah.
Yeah,
I've been there.
What do you think people misunderstand most about warriors, cops, and tactical operators?
I think they misunderstand. Man, that's deep too. They don't really know what's all entailed with that. What every aspect of each one of those it's huge.
It is huge.
And I don't think people really understand what it is. They don't know what it is.
There's a cost to all three of it, and that's the problem,
absolutely.
Rod. And
they don't get it. They just don't understand.
Yeah, we paid. I mean, I always say this: we had the front row seat to the greatest show on earth.
Oh yeah,
but there's a price to be paid
100%,
to have that front row seat.
Yes,
and it's not fun and games. It's not all good times. We came away. I tried to leave a trail without leaving a trail of bitterness and betrayal. But man, do I think it's some of those guys that some of those supervisors? I despise a lot of those guys, and you know
I
what?
do too.
And there was a lot of bitterness, and there was a lot of betrayal. Is there a memory from your Marine Corps years that still replays vividly in your mind today?
Yes.
You want to say it or?
I don't talk much about combat, but and I'll just give you just a kind of a simple thing, Jay. That in fact, I was just doing some immersion therapy with this about 8 months ago, I believe. It was an incident that happened in a firefight we were in Iraq, and this was in the first Gulf War. But we were like, I shouldn't say Iraq. It was on like the Kuwaiti and Iraqi border, Saudi border, whatever it was. I can't remember exactly for sure, but it was a pretty gnarly firefight. I lost a friend of mine named Stevenson. 13 guys died that night.
Wow.
DeAndre was he was actually in our unit before, and then he moved down to LAR, and they died right in front of us by fratricide from the air. And there was nothing we could do, man. I mean, there was just nothing. We went back and rounds were cooking off everywhere. We couldn't, and we're in the middle of a firefight too, so it was kind of weird doing this immersion therapy with that, just reliving it over and over and recording it and over. And then the more stuff I remember and the visuals and it was wild, man. But that's the biggest, I mean, I have nightmares over that shit sometimes still too.
And real fast for the folks at home, fratricide, that means, that is orange on orange.
Yeah,
so
friendly on friendly.
Yeah. What about a memory from law enforcement that you will never forget?
Yeah. I have actually a lot of them.
Yeah,
a lot of them. I mean, a lot. Yeah.
I don't know about you, man, but I got like a half a dozen calls for service that right before I go to bed, one of them will pop in my mind. And when I wake up in the morning, one of them pops into my mind. And I never know why. And it used to piss me off. Now I've just kind of realized this is how it's going to be. And, and I wish I could forget all that shit, but I can't. I got a big brain. You do too. And, man, and looking back, what moments in your life are you proudest of?
Well, there's a few. One would be, becoming a Marine, going to First Force, becoming a very, getting to be an operator in a very, very, very small community. My dad telling me that he's proud of me, you know what I mean? Because he's my, and that's a whole nother story. But the guy I call my dad, he's my adoptive father. And once I got back from the wars, when he told me, hey man, I'm proud of you, son. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that was big. Becoming a deputy, obviously, being a father.
Yeah.
And I mean, all those things are probably my biggest things. Trying to be a good husband now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Finally, like you said, finding a good woman. You know what I mean? That once we're kind of our headspace is right, you know what I mean? Yeah. Then maybe that's okay. Maybe that's why the first one didn't go right. Whatever the case may be, that's not whatever. But my headspace is so good right now. I think my bubble's almost so centered all the time now. You know what I mean? That's what I'm proud of. I'm proud of that, man. I survived all this, and I'm trying to be a good dad. You know what I mean? And trying to be a good husband. And so far it's working. I think it is. No. I hope it is.
You look good, bro. And
Appreciate
was there ever a mentor who shaped the man that you became?
Yes.
Who's that?
Again, my adoptive father into some aspects.
Yeah.
And then Eric Loya, who was one of my platoon commanders. I'm sorry, my platoon sergeants, my bad.
Got it.
For sure.
If you could speak to young officers entering law enforcement today, what would you tell them about integrity?
Wow, man, I would tell them it's everything, but I mean, again, they're going to hear that throughout their time in the academy, and going to the street if they happen to go there, wherever their career is going to take them. But they need to realize that that's everything, and if they don't have it, man, then their career's done.
Yeah.
It's over. I don't care what career you're in.
I agree. What advice would you give young men searching for purpose and discipline?
Go into the military.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, I'm not. I mean, I think that's big. I do. I think that's a big thing. Because that's kind of where it's going to start, right? I mean, because you got to have some self-awareness on what's going on, and if something's got to trigger that in you, and I don't know what that is for everybody. It's different for everybody.
You know what I was going to ask you, and I forgot to ask. You did 12 years in the Marines.
Yeah.
Why didn't you be a lifer, bro?
That's a long story, but so when you're in the recon community and when you get promoted to sergeant in the Corps, back then you had to do what they call the B billet, which is a career enhancement in billet in order to get promoted basically above E6 and up higher.
Yeah.
So I was just getting promoted to sergeant on my last deployment, and I was up for reenlistment. When I said, okay, well, hey, I know I'm getting promoted. Yeah, I was just married. I just had my daughter, my youngest daughter, or my oldest daughter, Kayla. And I was like, okay, no problem. Hey, I'll re-enlist, but let me do this, or this. Like, nope, you have to go to the drill field, right? Be a recruiter, or you can go to overseas, like as a embassy duty.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I'll do that, man, all day long. That'd be awesome. All right, I'll go do that. Okay, cool. And they go, okay, well, hey, go ahead and sign here. And I had a $50,000 re-enlistment bonus because of the unit I was in. Long story short, Jay, that tour was unaccompanied, which meant I would have had to leave my wife at the time back home and my daughter. So I was like, there's no way. My daughter's brand new. I mean, she's months old. There's no way I'm going to do that. And I've been married recently. So I was like, there's no way I'm going to do that. So that's why I ended up getting out. But then I did a lot of time in the reserves and then on what they called ADSW, which is active duty special work. So I was on reserve time, but basically doing active duty time because I would not only just do weekends, I was doing months or weeks at a time.
Got it. After everything you've experienced, combat, investigations, tactical operations, leadership, what do you believe is the true meaning of service?
You give 100% of you, because I always look at it this way, and I always tell my trainees the same thing. That's you sitting on the other side of this conversation.
Yeah.
And if you can't do it, you know what I mean? You can't give them everything like you would expect them to do for you, then you're in the wrong business.
I agree. Got a quote for you. Some men leave behind medals. Others leave behind something far greater. The quiet impact of a life spent standing between chaos and the people who could never face it alone. Your story is forged in deserts, battlefields, patrol cars, briefing rooms, and the long silent moments that come after the mission ends. You carried the weight of responsibility, not for recognition, but because you believed protecting others was a duty worth sacrificing for. You remind us that courage is not loud, it is steady, it is disciplined. It is the decision to walk towards danger when every instinct tells you to run the other way. Through combat, investigations, leadership, and decades of service, you showed that true strength is not measured by force alone, but by integrity, loyalty, and resilience, and the willingness to keep showing up for others, no matter the cost. When I read that today, I thought of you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. We're going to wrap up, brother, but I just got to tell you, I've always respected you. I remember when we were out there riding dirt bikes 15 years ago, right? And I liked you then, and I like you now. And honestly, Rod, I'm glad you made it through a long career. I think you deserve everything, what's best in this world. I think you've earned it. I love the fact that you're about your kids and your wife now. I hope you live to be a ripe old age, brother, because you know what? We need more people like this, like you in this world. And I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. And if you ever need anything from me, the answer is yes.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
And before we wrap up, is there anything you would like to say?
No, I mean, I'd like to say thanks. And again, like I've watched, several of your episodes, Jay. I've known you for years. And some of the stories, I remember conversing with you prior to this.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I don't really have a story. I don't have this.
You've got a great story.
No, I mean, as far as like some of the ones that have been on here, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about because we've talked about them. But I appreciate the fact that whatever your reason is, Jay, for doing this, whether it's self-promoting, which I know that's not what you're doing.
No.
It's something for you to do.
Yeah.
Probably so. Something to try to make some money, whatever the case may be. That's none of my business. But you're talking about getting messages out about people with cops and how it is, man. I mean, I think that's a good thing. And it's people don't understand. They just, and I've told people that for years. It's like being in combat. I'm like, look, you just wouldn't understand. And it's not disrespectful. And I say that about being a cop too. You just wouldn't understand. You can't ever grasp that reality of what that is. The highs, the lows, the goods, the bads. So I appreciate the time. You know what I mean? It's always cool to see you, man. I remember when we first met, man. You know what I mean? I've always there's always been respect here, man. I've 100%. Had no reason not to. You helped out my daughter when I was in a buying with her.
Yeah.
When she was going through some stuff at school and high school, and you took care of it, man, like a lickety split. And again, I think that's because you knew some of the guys I knew.
Big time.
I was like, hey, man, Rod's squared away. She was a good dude, man. Take care of him.
100%.
Cool. And that's how we do it in this community, right?
Yeah.
If you're a good dude, but if you're not, we don't.
Yeah. No, 100%, man. And, brother, man, keep doing what you're doing, man, because I think you're thinking the right way. You know what, man, because I've ran into some guys, man, that I used to work with, bro, and I'm worried about them.
Me too.
Man. And, I recently ran into one of them, man, and, he was kind of wilding out, man. And I was like, hey, bro, you got to let this shit go. You just got to. And, but anyways, man, Rod, again, I just love your message. I love your story. And thank you for your service. And again, man, you deserve nothing but the best. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Well, folks, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Next week, I'll have a new guest. Again, check out the website, street2strategy.com. Also, June 15th, my new book comes out, The Emotional Toll of the Show. And I'll leave you with my quote I always leave you with. Good luck, God bless, and Godspeed.